everybody. Welcome to a rare Friday late show. It's a special one. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert, and I'm very excited because tonight we'll take a break from talking about what happened in the West Wing and instead talk about what happened on the West Wing, specifically a West Wing special to benefit When We All Vote on HBO Max. It's a huge event next Thursday, October 15th, bringing together the cast and creators of one of the most iconic shows of the last 20 years. Plus, it's on HBO, so maybe we'll finally get a peek at Josiah Bartlett's South Wing. I'm talking Martin Sheen-Peen. Don't let us down, Marty. It's all to benefit Michelle Obama's voter initiative, When We All Vote. Oh, I know that one. November 3rd. Do it. Tonight, I'll be interviewing West Wing stars Martin Sheen, Allison Janney, Richard Schiff, Bradley Whitford, and creator Aaron Sorkin. And in honor of Sorkin, I wanted to do the whole thing as a walk and talk, but right now office hallways are just a disease vector, so we Zoomed it. In prepping for tonight, it's been a treat to turn my attention to the happiest time in American history, fiction. And when it comes to fictional presidents, no one inspired our country like President Josiah Bartlet. He led the country, at least on TV, from 1999 to 2006, at which point he retired and found love with Sam Waterston. You know, Donald Trump could take a page out of Jed Bartlett's book, especially when it comes to handling illness. When Jed Bartlett developed MS, he initially tried to hide it from the country, but fortunately, Bartlett had another condition Trump never tested positive for, a conscience.
I may not have had sinister intent at the outset, but there were plenty of opportunities for me to make it right. No one in government takes responsibility for anything anymore. We foster, we obfuscate, we rationalize. Everybody does it. That's what we say. So we come to occupy a moral safe house where everyone's to blame, so no one's guilty. I'm to blame. I was wrong.
I was wrong. The only three-word combinations you're less likely to hear from Trump are, finish my fries, too many Nazis, and I love vegetables. When the truth came out about his MS, Bartlett was clear that he didn't want anyone to lie on his behalf.
If you lie to protect me, if you lie just once, if you lie just a little, if you lie because you can't stand what's happening to me and the people making it happen, if you ever lie, you're finished with me. You understand?
Trump's version is a little bit different. If you lie to protect me, if you lie just once, if you lie just a little, that's not lying enough. You keep that lie choo-choo a-chugging, and I'll pick you up at Pardon Junction. Woo-woo! It might be unfair to compare the two presidents, but it's also kind of fun. For example, when Trump gets angry, he tweets from the toilet. When Bartlett got angry, he castigated God in Latin.
Hey, credum adeo pio, adeo justo, adeo scito, cruciatus in crucem. Tuus in terra servos nuntias fui, officium perfece. Cruciatus in crucem, eas in crucem.
To which God responded, take it down a notch, nerd. The West Wing wasn't just a romantic vision of the White House. At times, it was straight up romantic.
We got the new national tracking polls.
What times?
It's 44-44. We're tied.
We're tied.
Nationally.
Holy mother of God, we got him!
Yes.
We got him! Woo!
The only romantic payoff this White House has given us was when Trump finally consummated his will they or won't they with the coronavirus. My heart is beating so fast. Oh, my lungs are working so hard. This virus really plays easy to get. But enough reminiscing about the West Wing. Let's talk to the people who made it happen. Joining me now, 20 years and 26 Emmys later, the cast and creators of the West Wing. Please welcome Allison Janney, Richard Schiff, Martin Sheen, Aaron Sorkin, and Bradley Whitford. Hey, folks, thanks for being here. Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Stephen.
I'm really happy you're here. The one thing that bums me out is that I wish we had the entire live audience of the Ed Sullivan Theater so you could feel the thunderous, roaring applause that you could literally lean against when each of you walked out on stage. I can only glow at you, but they would actually give you the love that you deserve. Aaron, West Wing fans are giddy that you put together this West Wing special, but you're being adamant that this is not a reunion. What does that mean, that it's not a reunion?
That's right. It's not a reunion show. Reunion shows have a certain stigma attached to them that you feel like it's going to be a very Brady Christmas. So over the years, I've resisted the opportunities to do a reunion show, but this opportunity came along to do something at a crucial time for when we all vote. And so while it is a group of people coming back together after having not been together for a while, it is not a reunion. It has a purpose. And what we've done, my producing partner on The West Wing, Thomas Schlamme, was also our principal director. He's taken an episode of the show and he has restaged it as a play. Haven't changed a word. He's just restaged the whole thing as a play. And then we shot that play as if it were in the style of a modern Playhouse 90. So again, not a reunion show. It's something else. I don't know what to call it.
So you guys are in character the entire time.
We are doing
an episode of The West Wing. Sorry, go ahead, Brett.
No, I was just going to say we are, however, now doing the Brady opening credits.
Right. Thank you. Because for a moment there, it sounded like Aaron was talking smack about the Brady Bunch, and I'm not going to sit here and let him run down an American treasure.
No. I'll be honest with you. I was a little disappointed with the second reunion. The first one, out of the park.
Okay, the episode that you are staging is a 2002 episode called Hartsfield Landing. Bradley, what's it like returning to the character of Josh after this period of time?
Oh my God, it was, I think, emotionally lovely for all of us to go back. I have a little vain fear that people are going to wondering who the old fisherman playing Josh is, but we loved. I'm not just saying this. I really think the key moment that made the cast chemistry come together was Martin, because we feel such affection and protection for him as our characters do. It's a little intimidating. There's a certain pace to Sorkin's writing. I don't know if he's aware of that. And you could feel like for a second you'd be like, oh God, did I lose this? And then you could see in others when you were riding the pace of the words, and all of us got to ride Aaron's writing like a glorious motorcycle, and it was great to have that feeling again.
When you guys, one of the hallmarks that everybody knows about the Sorkin-esque writing, if I can use that word, is that there are moments when the character finds exactly the words they would need in that moment. It's a fantasy of having just the right thing to say at exactly the right moment. When you were reading the script throughout those seasons, would you go through and like see a full block of text on a page and go, oh, I have one of them this episode? Did you guys go through that?
I did personally. I lived for those moments for CJ, because I get very nervous public speaking. I don't have a lot of confidence at it, and to be able to memorize and own Aaron's words and make them my own empowered me. It was exhilarating to say them. Even the press briefings, I just loved sounding like I was the smartest woman in the room, which all my lovely castmates, and everyone knows that I'm not. So it was just a thrill.
Martin, I have a question for you from a super fan who was on the show last night. It's Mr. John Bon Jovi asked me to ask you this question.
Ooh.
It says, he said,
I'm a fan of John Bon
Bon Jovi as well. So
He said President Bartlett was my man. What's President Bartlett doing in retirement?
well, Bartlett is in retirement, but I'm still at it. You know.
Richard, what about some of the other characters? Richard, what's Toby doing these days? What did Toby go on to do?
Well, in the fictional world, I would imagine that Toby would have gotten so apoplectic about the political situation in this country that he would have gone back to a more of a grassroots situation and maybe taken out a specific enemy, say Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. He would go down and join and help the candidate, in this case, Harrison. He would go and help one candidate kind of surreptitiously, without being visible, kind of in the basement. He'd write him speeches and yell in his earpiece during debates so that we could have one victory. He would be focusing on one important victory, I think.
Well, Toby was a speechwriter. Aaron, as a writer yourself, what do you think of the plot of the year 2020? Because every so often, I just want to yell, okay, 2020, that's a little too on the nose. That's a little too much. Really, the person who is spreading the coronavirus is named Hope. Why did you name the character Hope?
2020 jumped the shark a long while ago. But I think the problem in terms of writing it, and writers are going to have plenty to write about these last 4 or 5 years. But I think that you'll very seldom see Donald Trump as an onstage or on-screen character. He'll be off stage, he'll be in news footage because he's implausible. And in fact, the one place right now where you see him as a character, Stephen, is on your show. It is on Our Cartoon President, which is by far the most generous portrayal of Donald Trump I've ever seen.
Yes.
Because in every episode, he does what a TV character does. He changes by the end of the episode. He learns something by the end of the episode.
That is the hardest thing about Donald Trump as a character, is how can you play a man who doesn't change at all?
That's right. You can't. You can have a bad guy, you can have a good guy, but there's no such thing as an interesting character who doesn't have a conscience.
I just
so
want to
this
be,
guy will always be off screen, except on your show where you kind of like him.
He'd be kind of like George Steinbrenner on Seinfeld. He'd always be off camera in the voice of Larry
Exactly
David.
right. Yeah, Larry David will voice him and you'll just see the back of his head.
I think if there is a God, she's a terrible writer. She can't even pick a genre. I don't believe the beginning. The second act goes on forever, and the ending is terrible.
We don't know the ending yet. 2020 could end on a high note. Please, everybody breathe.
I think it might.
We'll be right back with more Allison Janney, Richard Schiff, Martin Sheen, Aaron Sorkin, and Bradley Whitford. Stick around.